Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 63. When we last left our heroes, Natsu finally finished his battle against Aldoron, using both his own flames, Igneal's flames, Atlas flames, and Ignea's flames. For one final move, something about Purgatory, Dragonkin, something, I don't remember the exact title of it, but Aldoron got blown up with just the sheer force of Natsu's fire. And yeah, it was a really simple chapter, but a great, beat down chapter. So with that said, let's jump right on into chapter 63, Dramil Banquet. Our picture here looks to be kind of in canon. It's Lucy, crying over Natsu as he's, beat up and bloodied, but, victorious. Gajil and Loxus, Happy, Gray, Juvia, Urza are all there too, kind of, excited and very much worn down. A victory seized by all, because everybody fought together. And so we open at the Wizard Guild Magia Dragon to check in on Eleftheria, and there is some change on the little thingamabob, the mural of the five dragons. And we see that where Aldoron was kind of bark-colored, it looked like, he's now been whited out. Eleftheria looks at it. Aldoron has been sealed as well? Wizards have grown so strong over the past 100 years. Such a radiant era this is. We see the sunrise over the mountains. And somewhere else, we see Ignea, who has apparently sensed this too. Attaboy, Natsu. Just keep on burning, till there's nothing left of this world to burn. An interesting word choice there, given that Aldoron last time mentioned, about, will you burn the whole world? And Natsu said, if the world makes an enemy of the guild, then yes. I'm curious if both Natsu and Ignea Ignea and Aldoron bringing up burning the world is going to lead to anything significant. But anyway, then we move to Black Moon Mountain, presumably where, Celeste, her name? But she's sitting on the windowsill. Oh dear, Aldo-chan lost? Such a waste. And here I thought using that white wizard would make things interesting. Well then, I guess I will take over this world. So yeah, now, she's making her move. One sec, I'm trying to remember her name. Celine. It's Celine, not Celeste. So Celine is going to... I don't know. I think Celine is going to be the next god dragon we fight. Though there is still the metal dragon that I think we don't really know anything about. And then we check in with Diabolos, where the guildmaster, whose name I can't quite remember, is chowing down on some meat like he was the last time we saw him. Phew. And Kyria, Skullion, and Mad Moral have come to him in the aftermath of their failure to really succeed in anything in the Battle of Aldoron. And the Master looks at them. So you're saying Aldoron turned back into earth or trees or something? I got no appetite for that. And Skullion kind of looks away. Nabaru was gone MIA after dragonizing, which apparently they've changed the name of Nabal. I think I read the official translation has been spelling it like Nabaru, but yeah, that's Nabal, obviously. And yeah, remember what happened to him exactly? I think he just ran away, right? And then Mad Moral and Wraith is dead, Cha. And Kyria snaps at him. He was already dead, stupid. The Master looks at all of them and says, and you three just ran away with your tail between your legs? Are you really that pathetic, or was it just real bad luck? And Skullion, face darkens, just says two words. Fairy tale. And the Master looks at him, confused. We underestimated them. Our research tells us they are Ishgar's strongest guild. Every member has exceptional battle prowess. And Kyria kind of snaps, that lightning bastard, and Mad Moral starts teasing her. She has fallen for him, Cha. And Kyria turns around. Nah, I didn't fall for him. I'm gonna eat him for sure. And then the Master, kind of ignoring that little banter bit, your next target is Selene, the Moon Dragon God. I hear she's got a nice body. I won't accept any more failures. You gotta bring her to me. And Suzaku here will be coming along too. So that does kind of confirm that Selene will be our next dragon god to fight. Anyway, Mamoru is shocked at that as the Suzaku guy walks forward. One of the Black Dragon Slayer Knights, Suzaku the Red Dragon. We're not supposed to know who the Black Dragon Slayer Knights are we? Because that's the first I've heard of that phrase. And the Master, whose name I should really remember by now. But anyway, he says to them, now hurry up and feed me. I need Dragon God, flesh and blood. He's just not getting any of that, is he? And then I guess we check back in with Fairy Tail. We all moved a few kilometers from Drasil, or rather the place where Aldoron was, to a tiny town called Dramil. Apparently, this place was built for the government to monitor Aldoron. After Aldoron was destroyed, this huge army showed up. After they were so ineffective in the fight with Aldoron proper, now they show up trying to act tough. We left pretending not to know anything, which is why we came here. I don't know why, but the Master and the rest of the guild were in the mood for some sightseeing. It was tough explaining the situation. So I guess Lucy's saying that they didn't tell the government that they were involved in the fight with Aldoron at all. I mean, yeah, that seems to be what she's saying. Anyway, it was tough explaining the situation. And Makarov just looks at her shocked. You mean we were being controlled by the White Wizard, and we've been taken to a faraway land? And Mira looks at Urza. So what was with that giant dragon? Well, Urza looks away, and Loxus figures it out real quick. It probably has to do with the 100 Years quest. And Gray looks at him. You're sharp, Loxus. Freed, of course, more than happy, as expected. And Lisana looks away. We probably shouldn't ask any more questions. And Gajil looks down at Lily. Anyway, what happened to Toka? She's the one who deceived us all. And Levy looks at their conversation. It seems like she's been asleep all this time. And Lucy kind of steps in. It's a bit more complicated than that. And we see Natsu, Wendy, Happy, Carla, and a few of the other members are watching over a sleeping Toka and the White Wizard. So we'll see, what they're gonna do with the White Wizard. And so it's Max and Warren we see here. Hey, shouldn't we tie up that Toka girl? She'll drain our magic again when she wakes up. But Wendy kind of placates them. We're probably safe. She won't recover her magic so easily. Natsu, if she fights back, I'll clobber her. And then Max asks, did that cat go inside Toka? But Warren corrects him. No, I'm pretty sure Toka is the cat. And is Nab the Never Finds a Mission guy? This is so complicated. But Happy shows up to correct everyone. For starters, there was a cat named Toka. Then the White Wizard went inside her, which made her into a human. So yeah, it's only like 3 lines. But then Carla asks, in any case, I find it hard to believe Toka was an Exceed to begin with. And Wendy looks at her, so she's not an Exceed from Extalia? I'm sure of it. She's an Exceed we don't know. Wait, what does that mean? Are there Exceeds who aren't from Extalia? How? What? I thought they were, just from there. Anyway, Natsu, still full of rage. When she wakes up, you can bet I'll get her to talk. And Happy's kind of trying to needle into Carla. So it turns out Toka actually likes me, and Carla just shuts him down. So what? 3 days pass since that battle, but Toka and the White Wizard still didn't wake up. Your guard duty shift is over. Alright, let's grab some grub. Aye, sir. And then Mako would be cut to the guild. or wherever the guild's at right now. At any rate, let us celebrate our reunion in this foreign country. Cheers! And the whole guild, as they do, just start partying, getting drunk, having a good old time. They're fairy tale. You know they're fairy tale. Natsu, rides on some barrels. Come on, let's go barrel surfing. And immediately gets motion sick. When will you learn? And then Jet and Roy come over to Wendy. It's been a while, hasn't it? Have you gotten bigger, Wendy? No, I haven't changed one bit. And Juvia, Gray-sama! And Gray is, button, not even wearing, underwear or anything, just fully naked except for his bandages. You called Juvia? Aw, that's some development there. But Makao freaks out. You're ass naked! And then Juvia comes up and, hugs Gray. Aw, it's so good to see you safe, Gray-sama. And Gray reciprocates. You too. And everyone freaks out at that. We love positive Gruvia development. Over in another corner, Loxus is regaling his story. Then when I came to, I found Urza beaten up real bad. And Freed freaks out. Who could have done such a thing? When I woke up, I was turned to stone, and I was a puppet. That's Big Slow and Ever. I hope I didn't do any unmanly things, says Elf Green in the background. And then we cut to Kana and Lucy. Come on, drink up, please, no more. And Gajil ranting to Lily. I'm gonna tell our kid this. Your dad once got as huge as a mountain. And does Lily not know about the pregnancy yet? Because that's kind of a shocked expression. Right. Because I don't think... I don't think there's ever been a point where they just came out and said Levy is... there's the last chapter of the original series where Lucy's oh, it sounded like she said she was pregnant, and we all know that she was. But I don't remember them ever directly saying that. But so what I'm getting at is I don't know if Lily knows. And Happy's kind of dancing all around Carla. Hey, what would you do if I'm taken by Toka? And Carla just, again, is not interested in you, Happy. Move on. Nothing. And Natsu, we haven't brawled in a while, Elfman. Why did I... God, I just realized I called him Elf Green earlier. I called him his own ship name. Sorry. This chapter is very scattered, as you can tell by how I'm constantly having to refine myself with every panel. We haven't brawled in a while, Elfman. Manly! And the big brawl starts, Kana's drinking around, Natsu and Max and the dancing guy are partying. And the bartender. They're quite a noisy group, aren't they? They've been at it for 3 days. I love these guys so much. And now we cut to a bridge, where who is standing there with everyone's favorite moper, Jellal, and Urza as well. I thought I'd find you here, Jellal. Urza, I can't be part of a guild-only occasion, right? And Urza walks up to him. Nobody would mind. But the two of them stare out at the river. It's been a while. Yeah. But I have no memory of what happened while I was whited out. Did I do anything bad? And Urza flashes back to stripping Jellal. Well, there were no problems. Urza. That's one way to frame that. But Jellal continues. I feel so ashamed to think I'd end up like that while pursuing the White Wizard. And Urza's just, here we go. Is this the part where you say it's all my fault? It really was my fault. But I will no longer beat myself up over every failure I make. And Urza smiles at him, happy for that little bit of development. Of course, I'll continue to reflect over my past sins and mistakes. And by doing that, I will find a path that will lead to tomorrow. I see. And then Jellal turns back to her. That's what it means to live, right? You've changed, Jellal. And Jellal, like, puts his hand over hers. It's all thanks to you, Urza. I can love people freely now. And he, like, pulls her into a hug. And Urza's kind of wide-eyed for a second before she closes her eyes and kind of accepts it. That's true. To be continued next time. Alright, this was a fluff chapter, if ever there were fluff chapters. But you know what? I'm here for it. I love this cast, so, like, of course I'm gonna love fluff chapters. Though before we get there, we have a bit of setup for future arcs. Specifically, Ignia's little, like, taunting line. We set up Diabolos running into Selene. And also maybe setting up a Kyria-Loxus rematch, which would be kind of weird, because especially given Loxus is specifically the one who says, like, this is all part of the quest, let's not worry about it. Like, that's not our job. Makes it seem very unlikely that they'll encounter each other at Selene. So, like, I don't really know where how those two are gonna meet up. But we're also introduced to Suzaku, and got nothing to say about him. He's kind of got this, like, Japanese robe style thing going on. But, you know, the Master is just as over the top as he's always been, and is one of my least favorite designs from Diabolos. But I'm excited to see more of our main trio, and I'm curious how Suzaku is going to mess with their dynamic. But beyond that, it is party time, and it's some romance time. Specifically, in both Gray's acceptance of Juvia, which we kind of saw with the Juvina stuff before we got to Aldoron, and then again with Jellal, who finally, you know, has stopped the self-hatred enough that he can, like, admit that he loves Urza. Or at least can love people freely now, which is, you know, a step closer to being honest with yourself than I have a fiance. And yeah, it's just kind of a sweet chapter. It's a fun chapter. It's, you know, a little bit of a reprieve from the quest. You know, even in just how it lets the quest team just, like, get to be with Fairy Tail for a while. Though again, it does make me really curious what the rest of Fairy Tail is going to do from here. I mean, there's a little bit of mystery about where Toka came from, given that she's not from Ixtalia, and that's supposedly where all Exceeds are from. But yeah, that's something we'll deal with in a later chapter, I presume. Because, like, that's really all we're kind of given for this chapter. So this is a good bit of foreshadowing, and mostly just a fun time watching the gang party. And you know what? After an arc as long as the Aldoron arc has been, that's kind of what we need. So that's all I have to say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!